I'd like to now go to our first speaker over in Germany. She was born in Slovakia, as I mentioned before, has lived in Germany for 20 years. Her husband is Kanaya Prabhu, and they both took Diksha from Srila Gurudev in the year 2000. She lives in an ashram somewhere between Stuttgart and Frankfurt. And I give a very, very warm welcome to Srimati Saci Dasi. Please feel like you're just among family, Didi. You don't look too nervous, but some people get quite nervous. We're just family. We're just on the sofa having a beautiful chat about your memories of Srila Gurudev. So a warm, hearty welcome, and thank you for coming on. Dandavad.
Thank you for the opportunity. First time for me to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, pretty good. It's a little echoey, but I think that's because you're in a big room, right?
In a big temple, yes. Thank you for the opportunity. First time in my life I'm doing like this in front of the computer. I feel a little shy.
Thank you.
Also, but I feel between my godbrothers and godsisters are not such a big deal. I would like to introduce myself first because maybe not many know me. I was born, as you said, in Slovakia 47 years ago, and until I was 16, I was raised in the communistic system and regime. When the borders opened, I was 18, I decided, actually I was 16, but when I was 18, I decided to explore the world before I commit myself into studies or job or something like that. I remember also I got a book on the street from a devotee, Ishopanishad, but at the time I could not understand the word from it. So I put it on the shelf and forgot about it. So when I was 18, I left my protective small town, and mother and grandmother, she gave me a lot of religious impressions, though it was communistic country, but she lived in a small farm and I visited her quite often, my grandmother. But then I wanted to go to the world a little bit, and I went to Vienna, capital of Austria, and there I met many people, had many interests. As a nanny, I was staying in a house of a family au pair, and there I met many interesting people and was into studying their life and thoughts, and I was pretty much inclined to philosophy and try to find philosophy for myself. So I ended in Krishna temple, in ISKCON temple in Vienna, and immediately I felt at home there. I was thinking, yes, this makes sense, this philosophy, this culture and environment. So from day 2 or something, I stayed. Actually, I went to my own country, to Czechoslovakia, and stayed in the temple there in Prague for 4 years. And mostly I was doing book distribution, which was very much appreciated at that time. And it was also blissful for me because I liked the idea to give knowledge, someone to give the wisdom. I was thinking this is the best thing I can do. So I was going also to Germany because Germany had many Sankirtan devotees they were very experienced. And so then I pendled a lot between Germany and Czech Republic. But after 4 years staying in the temple, things started to change because there were some issues. Gurus were falling from the principles, and I got some doubts, not in Krishna, not in the philosophy, but in the surrounding and the leaders. And then I thought maybe it's good for me to marry also. I'm not so holy as maybe I was thinking before, but I will also marry someone who has good character and is knowledgeable. So then I met my husband, and since then we are married. This is more than 20 years now. It was 1999. Yeah. And 2000, as you said, we met Srila Gurudev. We started to study and were living nearby Ramshada Prabhu. Ramshada Prabhu is Srila Prabhupada's disciple. He's Indian devotee from India, and he's very experienced, and he helped us a lot with our daily sadhana. We visited him a lot. He had beautiful Thakujis, and he invited Srila Gurudev to his house to install his Thakujis, Radharamanju. And there we met Srila Gurudev in his house. It was 2000 or 1990, no, it was 1999, yeah. It was in the same year, actually, when we moved there and we married also. So it was a small house, and Srila Gurudev came with 18 devotees there. And it was very familiar, very sweet. I was thinking, wow, this so many people, and they have such a nice feeling with each other. And Srila Gurudev was giving Harikatha morning and evening for 3 days. Ramchandra Prabhu also rented a hall. Many devotees came there, and so all 3 days were very inspiring. I was never experiencing this in ISKCON. And Srila Gurudev, I remember he spoke on topic of Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj, and it touched me so deeply. He's exactly explained and said the feeling which I always had, that this world is not a place of becoming happy. Hiranyakashipu had all riches, everything. He could control everyone, whole universe, but he was not happy. So this brought me to tears. I remember I was very much impressed. It was very simple katha, but still very impressive. Then I went to darshan, and he spoke to everyone. I was sitting in front, but he didn't look at me at all. Only on the end, when everyone left the room, he called me very near, come here, nearby. And he asked me, are you coming to my next place where I'm going, to Berlin? Then I said, probably not, I have to study, I have school. Then he looked at me, he said, you should listen Harikatha, this will make you strong. He said it so, this will make you strong. So that until this day, I remember this. So whenever any doubt or feeling of loneliness and hopelessness comes, then I'm turning my ears and listen Harikatha, and it always helped me out. So, and then still I was not initiated. It took 1 year. I was reading his books, associating more with his devotees. Like Shemarani Didi went to my house, also to our house, to our flat for a couple of days. And we were worshipping small Thakujis, Kornitai, every day. And I heard in ISKCON also that we have to, that the Thakujis has to be installed to worship them properly. So I was thinking maybe also Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj could install my Thakujis like Ramchandra Prabhu did with his. So the next year we took our Thakujis and went to visit Srila Gurudev in Holland, where he was giving 1 week festival. It was, I forgot the place. So, but then in Holland, I asked him if he could install my Thakujis. And Gurudev said, yeah, but you have to take Diksha first. How you can worship without Diksha? There was the thing, do I want to be initiated and follow Gurudev now, to belong to him? It was a little bit scary for me. I like him, I like Harikatha and books and everything, but to dedicate myself to Srila Gurudev was a question. So then Srila Gurudev, he gave me some small instances were there when I considered, yeah, it's good to get initiated. He's a really pure devotee. He can protect me and guide me. For example, when he was going out of his class from the hall in Holland, I was standing maybe 10 meters away and was thinking, if I would become his disciple, would he ever speak to me or exchange with me? He has so many disciples, he maybe will not even recognize me, or it's too many people around, or what will be about me? So in that moment, when I was thinking this, he walked straight through the people to me and asked me, what's your name? I was quite surprised. I said, Saci Dasi. I was initiated in ISKCON. And he put his ear more near to my face. What? And then I had to repeat. And this was such a feeling like, wow, he understood my mind. He knows what I'm thinking. So no need to fear this. Also, my husband had similar experience. Gurudeva was giving class and he was speaking about Bhakti Lata Beach, how it's growing. So he was thinking, oh, this is a nice katha I never heard before. Also, he was in ISKCON 7 years before. I want to listen more and understand more. So he came four in front of Gurudev to listen, to understand better. And on the end of the class, when Gurudev was leaving, my husband did like this. And Srila Gurudev turned back. He was not seeing. My husband was doing Dandavad. Gurudev turned back and did the same to him. So this is another, wow, Srila Gurudev is all-knowing. Yeah. So then we took initiation in Holland, and from that day, life started to change somehow. Somehow my husband was thinking, I'm going to university, want to become teacher, but I have to first learn myself. There is a lot of topics I don't know, and I can learn from Srila Gurudev, and this university and these studies are not so much helpful, really. They don't know so much. So then he wrote to Srila Gurudev if it's a good idea to continue the studies or to leave it. Srila Gurudev answered to him, Srila Gorkishoras Babaji Maharaj and Srila Hadas Thakur, they never went to school. The main thing is bhakti. If you can hear, you don't have to associate with people on university. You can listen to if you have to study, he left it to him to decide. You can listen to classes online, but from the books, but if you don't have, then don't go to university and associate with them in person. Then my husband thought, okay, that's pretty, I would like to follow Gurudev more. I think I drop my studies. I don't like this so much. So he was strong and he decided to leave it. And myself, I had still some doubt if I should continue. I was also doing education for kindergarten. But then Gurudev in one festival, he asked me, what are you doing? I was still continuing. And I said, I am doing kindergarten education. Then he looked at me, you should distribute books and speak Harikatha. Then it was for me like, should I drop my education? I was thinking. Then Gurudev looked back at me again and I said, this will help you. So then it was also clear for me now, I maybe also drop my education like my husband. So I was not so willing. So I brought to Gurudev, what shall I do now? I'm so much afraid. I'm married life. Before in the temple, I was giving everything to the temple, but now I have to also take care of myself and the family. And then Gurudev didn't write back, but the director of the school, after a couple of days when I brought Gurudev a letter, she invited me to her office and asked me if I don't want to leave the school because frankly speaking, I don't really fit there, she said. So I felt it, wow, this is quite clear. Gurudev is answering through this director, the principal of the school. So I said, okay, then I will also leave. And then we started to sell our things, give up our flat and to settle things, to go to India. We went for Kartik to India with no really idea what we will do afterwards. So my husband gave Gurudev all the money we had from selling things, and I was thinking, this was in Mathura. Gurudev was going out from Vyasa-san, and my husband handled this in something like 2,000 euro. It was not so much, but it was all we had. And then I was thinking in my mind, at least 300 euro we could keep. because I don't want to wash clothes always with my hands. I would like to have a washing machine. And then Gurudev looked at my husband and he did like, very good, good boy. And then he looks at me and very strongly, is she my disciple? I knew already, this is because I cannot surrender. Because I don't trust that Gurudev can give me a wash machine. So then I was feeling ashamed, I not surrendered. But Parikrama was very nice, and we continue to go on Parikrama every year since 2000 something, so 2001 maybe. Yeah. And after Parikrama, we met some devotees there in Germany. They asked us if we don't want to come to Berlin or start a temple there. And this is a good idea to open a center in Berlin and be with our God brothers, God sisters. So we had one God brother, Tarun Prabhu, and he was also at the time inspired. So we three opened a center in Berlin. And it was so nice. Gurudev one festival in Holland. And he said to us, in 10 days, I'm coming to Berlin, organize Ratha Yatra in 10 days. Because it was such a feeling like, wow, we have to go back now, and Gurudev is coming in 10 days. And we will have a nice festival, Ratha Yatra with Srila Gurudev, wow. And it was such a chaotic situation, but on the end it came so nice. We rented a hall and a small kitchen was there. And many devotees came, I don't know, maybe a few hundreds. And Ratha Yatra became very nice. So everything was organized like Gurudev was doing it. On our own, we were too little people to make this festival going on. So this incident also gave me such faith that Gurudev is really in charge and he's with us. Another very important teaching which I want to share with you is that Gurudev always inspired us to be in association of our seniors, senior God brothers or his disciples. He said to us, if you are in Berlin, then listen from these Vaishnavas. Savabhana Prabhu at the time is Prabhupada disciple, should be under his guidance. If you are in Heidelberg, then Ramshara Prabhu. Or if you are editing books, if you are translating books, my husband was translating most of the books in German, then always check with Harnamananda Prabhu. If he allows, then you can print them. So this is very important. I try to mold my life in this, that always some senior Vaishnava is there when I seek advice. Srila Gurudev was, I didn't have so many exchanges like long term. There was always short but very powerful incident. One time when he was leaving a festival, I was in the airport. I was feeling like, oh, Gurudev is going. What will happen? Who will protect me now? My spiritual life is so fragile. I feel this was the early 20s, 2000. Then I was crying. Gurudev is leaving, and Gurudev came to me and asked, "Wow, what happened? Why are you crying?" Then I said, "You are leaving, Gurudev." And then Gurudev looked at me. "I am your father, and you are all my children." And in my mind, I was, "Gurudev, you are my father, but you are a gopi. You always speak about gopis in the Katha, so how can you be my father?" It was a little bit funny, but and then Gurudev immediately changed his mood, his face, and looked at me very seriously, very strongly. And it shocked me a little bit. And I was thinking, what Gurudev want to say probably is, if you want that kind of relationship, then you have to endeavor. You have to become more strong. So, one time also Gurudev was, after class, he was explaining the Katha about Lalita, Vishaka, and Gopis and Brajavasis. And I was thinking, oh, Gurudev, really, this is so nice. I would like to be there. And he immediately looked very strongly at me, and I understood, like, this is not so cheap, but I can help you. Yeah. When Srila Gurudev came one time, and this is maybe only my last story, I want to share with you because time already passed, like 20 minutes. Srila Gurudev came I don't remember where, but he came out of the airport, and I was there, and I was thinking, oh Gurudev, I'm not up to standard. I'm really not doing much. Maybe I'm doing many things outwardly, but I'm not really feeling inside. I was crying again. Gurudev came after 1 year. I didn't see him 1 year, and then Gurudev looked at me and nodded his head. He said yes, and I thought, yes, Gurudev is happy with this type of feeling. I should always feel like that. I should not feel I'm great or I know so much. I'm doing so much, but I should always feel very insignificant. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm always crying.
Your tears are beautiful, Didi. You have a few more minutes if you want, or did you want to finish there?
I have also nice story on the end when Gurudev left this world. This was interesting experience, because at the time I was in India. We were living in a caravan with my husband for 7 years, distributing his books, because we left a temple for brahmacharis. And then the car broke, so I went to India, and my husband stayed in Germany with some boys. And at the time I was staying, I was going to Mathura to festival, to Mathura temple. It was Srila Gosvami Maharaja appearance day. And in the morning, everybody was running here and there. Gurudev left, and I could not even believe Gurudev left. But what shall I do now? Everyone is running. Where shall I go? What shall I do? I didn't know what to do. So I just packed my suitcase, and I was standing in front of the temple waiting for Pujyapat Brahmananda Prabhu to help me out of this. What should I do? I needed to speak with someone who can direct me. But nobody had time, and very nervous. So Prabhuji was at the time at Govardhan, and he came back and saw me and asked me, do you have passport with you? I said, no. Okay, then you cannot fly. You go with this group of Mathuravasis. Join them. They are going by train. Immediately go to Navadvip. Okay, then I followed. And he looked at me a little bit doubtfully, because maybe he knew already what will happen. But I was in my mind, I told me, I can manage, no worries. So then I joined the group, but this group was not considering me at all. They were speaking Hindi, and they were also in a rush. And when we came to the train station, they just disappeared. I saw last one to jump on the train, and I was thinking, oh, this is supposed maybe my train, I should also jump in. So without a ticket, without a companion, without even knowing where I'm going, first time in my life on the train in India, I jumped on the train. By fortune, I put my suitcase inside. But when I tried to go inside, the train already moved, and I slipped, and I would go under the train if somebody did not push me in. I don't know who it was. I think some Indian were there. They pushed me in, and I was in the train with a bloody knee. But I was in, and I didn't know now what will happen. And I just saw a seat, up seat, and I thought, this is an empty seat. Every chair was occupied. So I put my suitcase with the help of others on the top, and I also climbed on the top and lie down there. And for 20 hours, I didn't know what is going on, where I'm going, who is there, where should I get up, nothing. And like only I was praying 20 hours to Gurudev, please lead me to you. I have to go to Navadvip. You are there and I want to meet you there. Please, please. So there was one man coming and asked me, is this your seat? It was probably his seat. He showed me his card. And I don't know. Then he saw my situation. Maybe I'm so I don't know anything. So then he said, okay, then leave it. And he went away. And for the whole time, I didn't see any, to say, ticket conductor.
Collective.
Nobody asked me for anything. On the end of the trip, just before Bardamon, when I had to go out, one devotee came. It is a Mexican devotee, Jayadev, Gurudev's disciple. He asked me, you know where to get up? I said, no. And I don't know how he appeared there. Maybe he was in that group with his Mathuravasis. Okay, no problem. He said, I will help you. And he helped me with a suitcase, with a bus, and he led me to Navadvip, to the temple. And in front of the door, I saw Prabhuji going out. And I was, okay, Prabhuji, somehow I made it. Gurudev helped me. And Prabhuji laughed and he said, now you go there and there. And so he guided me what to do. It's very sweet. One time, I remember one time when we came to Kartik, and we came 2 days later because there was some delay. We had to spend 30 hours in Moscow on airport, and we just missed this Sankalpa day in Kartik. Srila Gurudev was doing Sankalpa. And then I went to Gurudev and said, Gurudev, we came too late and we missed the Sankalpa. We missed the Sankalpa. Then he said, no problem. I was doing for you. So on last days, I was hearing one devotee, Prempradi Prabhu. He was telling one time also, he asked Premananda Prabhuji, can I go to do Sankalpa? But there was so many sevas to do in the kitchen for Kartik, preparing, and so many devotees arriving. And he was thinking, but still I want to go and do Sankalpa. Then Prabhuji looked at him and he said, Sankalpa? The whole life is Sankalpa. What do you mean by doing Sankalpa for a few minutes? So then I understood more about what Gurudev meant to do Sankalpa.
Wow.
If we stick to him, then he will do everything for us. No need to do this extra. Just
thank you, Didi. So beautiful. This morning I was reading Ujjval Nilamani, and there's a beautiful bit where the gopis are totally enchanted by Krishna's garland, and it talks about how the rati for the Vishaya, the rati for the object, the rati and the object appear simultaneously. So I feel that with your presentation, the murti of Gurudev and your rati for Gurudev appears simultaneously. It's very, very beautiful. I was very touched by your mood. More than anything else, actually, when devotees offer us Pushpanjali, it's not always so much what devotees are saying, it's how they're saying it. We feel so much from the heart because we all have a relationship with the same great personality. And I'm always amazed by how we can relate to each other's experience, like we've had that experience, and yet the experience is simultaneously different. It's wonderful. And I really felt that the way in which you express the Vani of Gurudev through your Vapu relationship was a lovely mix. There was one thing, just to highlight a few things that I thought that really struck me. You actually almost skated over this, but I thought it was a very important point about how when you first met Srila Gurudev, you noticed about, I can't remember, I think you said there were 80, not 18, 80 people in the party. And you noticed how nice the dealings were in the party. And I think that's very, very important because we're like flowers on the garland of Gurudev around his neck. So in the same way you've glorified Srila Gurudev through your Pushpanjali today, we glorify all the opposite Srila Gurudev through our behavior with one another. I thought that was a really important point. And I really related to what you said about Gurudev's telling you to hear Harikatha. He once did this, pretty much the same thing to me. He didn't say, oh, it'll make you strong. He was just coming back from a morning walk. I was with him on a morning walk in Badger in America, and I'd kind of separated from the group. And he walked about 70 yards towards me back home. And as he approached me, there was no small talk, just his beautiful blue eyes just piercing all the way through me saying, you must hear more. I can't remember if he said hear, read both more Harikatha. Did you say the direct? I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just want to check. The director, the Gurudev didn't answer the letter, but the director ended up firing you anyhow. Yeah, it's an amazing story. Amazing story. And I loved your story about the 300 euros. It reminded me of the story of Sanatana Goswami and his servant. Do you remember? The servant that kept a little bit of money back. Very vulnerable of you to state that. And I also thought it was very meaningful what you said at the end about how Gurudev said, I'm your father. And you said, well, you know, about the Gopi relationship. And he said, yeah, you know, there's a kind of a big price for that. That doesn't come easily. This mood is expensive. It's a jewel. It's the greatest jewel. So yeah, Gurudev, I know he's really happy with that Pushpanjali, and you've enlivened me, and I'm sure you've enlivened everybody else online. And I hope you can stay for the next couple of Pushpanjalis as well, Didi, if you have the time.
I need to say, pretty much said everything, but maybe my husband has also nice stories about his relationship.
Oh yeah, we'll invite him on. Can he come in on okay, I'll follow that up. He would like to speak on another week?
He's shy. He's, I think, shy. He's sitting here and making...
Well, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to ask you to beg him. I'm going to beg him through you, and then you beg him privately.
Okay.
Yeah? I'm sure the shy ones are always the best ones, to be honest. Hare Krishna.